Hello student, let's continue with our unit number 3. And as all of you know, in the unit number 3 already we have finished the third phase of compiler, that is the semantic analysis and the syntax directed translation. Now today we will discuss about the fourth phase of compiler, which is included in the third unit only. And our fourth phase of compiler is nothing but the intermediate code generation. So before this already we have studied what exactly mean by the phases of compiler. So phases of compiler is nothing but the different stages in the processing of particular your source program in order to convert that into the machine program. And in that case, our fourth phase consists of the intermediate code generation. And now today in this lecture we will discuss about what is the intermediate code, then what is the need of the intermediate code, different types of the intermediate code, and in that one of the type we will also discuss in details. Remaining type of the intermediate code in details we will see in the next lecture. So today we'll discuss about the three address code and different ways of its representation. Now as all of you must be familiar with this particular diagram and all these things, that is this diagram indicate the different phases of compiler. And in this already we have seen the lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, and the SDT. And now we are at this fourth phase of compiler. So compilation is nothing but the compilation process is nothing but the sequence of these phases. As you can see, each of the phase take the input from the previous stage and give that particular give the output to the next phase as an input. So here I have mentioned each phase take the input from its previous stage and feed its output to the next phase of compiler as an input. And accordingly, already we know the lexical analysis, generate tokens, syntax analysis, check the syntax of the program by generating the parse tree. Semantic analysis also check the meaning of the program by generating the annotated parse tree. And then this third phase, that is the semantic analysis, give the generate the output as annotated parse tree and give that as an input to the next phase of compiler, that is the intermediate code generation. And that is the thing that today we are going to discuss. So this is the figure you can see each time we are discussing about the phases of the compiler. And in this figure you can easily see the lexical analysis as the first phase, take the source program as input, generate the tokens, give it to the parser of the syntax analyzer. Then syntax analyzer with the help of the parse tree check the syntax of the program and generate the parse tree and give it to the semantic analyzer. Semantic analyzer also check the meaning of the program by generating the modified parse tree or the annotated parse tree and give as a input to the intermediate code generator. Now we are at this phase and we have to discuss about what exactly is the intermediate code. Now first thing you should understand why this code is called as an intermediate code, because as all of you know, this particular part and this particular part we are considering as a front end of the compiler. Means in the front end of the compiler, lexical analysis, syntax analysis, and the semantic analysis phases come, which also we called as analysis phase. And this particular part, which is the back end of the compiler, which consists of the code optimization and the code generation. Okay. Now, so this is your source code which you compile through the compiler source code. Okay. And when you compile it through the source code, our aim is nothing but to generate the machine code. Our aim is to what? Generate the machine code. But during this processing of converting the source code into machine code by the compiler, some in between code is generated here, the code between the source code and the machine code. So that in between code which is being generated within the source code and the machine code, that is called as a intermediate code. Understood? So I hope all of you understood why we are calling this code as the intermediate code. Okay. So who is generating that? Intermediate code generator generate the intermediate code. Okay, so here I have mentioned the intermediate code generator used to translate the source code into the intermediate code. Okay, so before your source code will get converted to the machine code, before that it is get converted into the intermediate code. Okay, so as this code lies between the high level language, as you know, the source code is the high level language code and machine language code is the low level language code. So okay, so intermediate code lies between the high level language and the machine language. Okay, and what exactly this intermediate code contains? Okay, now intermediate code contain the summary of all previous phases of the compiler. Means what? Whatever processing we have done on the source program in the lexical analysis, whatever processing we have done on the uh, source program by parser, whatever processing we have done by the semantic analyzer on this parse tree, which is the input it get from the syntax analyzer. So whatever the result of this front end of the compiler, that result and that result in the form of some abstract information. Okay, the result of all the processing which is being done in the previous phases of compiler, that result in the form of summary, that is being represented in the intermediate code. Okay, and so here I mentioned the intermediate code contain the abstract information of all previous phases of compiler. Okay, what the intermediate code contain? Abstract information or summary of all previous phases of compiler. Summary in the sense whatever processing we have done in the previous three phases, like in the lexical analysis, token recognition done, in the syntax analysis, syntax checking done, in the semantic analysis, meaning of program is get checked. So whatever things we have, whatever things compiler has done in the previous three phases, abstract information, some summary of that important part of that three phases is being get represented here in the form of intermediate code by the intermediate code generator. Understood? So keeping all the information of these previous three phases in some abstract form, okay, that is the intermediate code. Okay, now question comes, what will happen if the intermediate code will not get generated? So that point we are going to discuss here in the form of what is the need of intermediate code. So here in the backend we will get the machine code. Okay, this is your source code. Now what will happen if the intermediate code will not get generated? If this code will not get generated, what will happen? Understood? Now what will happen, because you can see, because of the intermediate code here I have mentioned, because the intermediate code compiler don't have to read the source program again and again, as the intermediate code contain all the required information from analysis phase of compiler. Now what do you mean by the compiler don't have to read the source program again and again? When compiler will need to read the source program again and again? Now when in the back end of compiler processing of the source code will happen, so here we have the code optimization phase in the back end, code optimization and the code generation, that is the machine code generation. Okay, so when this backend processing of that backend processing on the source code is happening, again compiler has to refer to these previous phases, whatever the work that is being done in the previous phases, whatever the processing is being done in these previous three phases. So compiler also need to refer to these phases when the code generation and the code optimization is happening. So if the compiler has to go again and again to these three phases, then the time required for processing of the program will be more. Understood? But if you generate the summary of these three phases, abstract information which is being done in these previous three phases, and put that information in the form of some representation, in the form of some intermediate representation, which we are calling as the intermediate code, then compiler don't need to go again and again to these three phases. Compiler can only simply refer to this intermediate code for whatever information it required from the front end of the compiler. Understood? And because of that, what will happen? Time will get saved. What will happen? Time saving will happen, and that will be the improvement in the efficiency of the compiler. Understood? So that is the main need of the compiler, main need of the intermediate code generation. So if the intermediate code will not get generated, then whatever the machine code that will be get generated, that will not incorrect, that will correct. But if the IC is not get generated, then the time required to do the processing and the time required to do the execution of the program will be more. Understood? Because each time the compiler has to refer to these three phases if the IC is not generated. Understood? The same thing I have put down here. Because of IC, compiler don't have to read the source program and again, as the IC contains all the required information from analysis phase of compiler. If IC is not generated, then machine code will not be incorrect, but the time required to generate that machine code will be the more, and efficiency of the compiler will reduce, because during the synthesis phase in the sense processing done in the back end of the compiler, uh, because during the synthesis phase, that is the backend processing of the program, compiler also need to refer the analysis phase and the source program. So if IC is generated, then there will be no need to refer the analysis phase again and again. Analysis phase means to these three phases we are referring as the analysis phase. Okay, and to the remaining phases in the compiler, there is a code optimization and code generation. We are referring as a synthesis phase. Okay, so that is the one of the need of generation of intermediate code. Okay, so the intermediate code. So next important reason is also there, which come under the need of IC. That is, I am reading here, then I will explain you. The intermediate code keep the analysis portion same for all compilers. That is why it doesn't need a full compiler for every unique machine. Now, what is the meaning of this sentence? The meaning of this sentence is what? Suppose you are having the machine of 32 bit. Okay, and here you have the one particular compiler for C language, that is the C compiler. Now you go to the another machine which is the 64 bit. Okay, now if the IC will not get generated, okay, if the IC is not get generated, then you will need to design the fresh compile. Suppose you have designed the compiler for 32 bit, for the 32 bit machine. Okay, without IC. What? Without IC. And again, suppose you have the another machine which is of the 64 bit. Now the compiler which you have designed for the 32 bit, again when you go to the machine of 64 bit, again you need to design the fresh compiler. What you need to do? You need to design the fresh compiler, because you are changing from 32-bit machine to the 64-bit machine. Now this is the case when the IC is not generated. But if the IC is generated, if the intermediate code is generated, then even if you go from 32-bit machine to the 64-bit machine, there is a no need to generate the, or there is a no need to design the full compiler. Full compiler in the sense, there is a no need to design the full front end of the compiler and full back end of the compiler. Only what is the need? If you change the machine from 32 bit to the 64 bit, then only you need to design the back end of compiler. Okay, what you need to design? Back end of the compiler. No need to design the front end of the compiler, because IC generated, and IC contains, as I mentioned, IC keep the analysis portion same for all the compilers. Understood? So only need is what? To change the back end of the compiler. No need to design the front end of the compiler, even if you changes the machine from 32 bit to the 64 bit. Understood? Because IC is the IC is the independent of the machine. One important thing related with the intermediate code is what? It is independent of the machine. It don't depend on the what kind of machine you are having. Understood? So even if you change the machine, the front end of the compiler, no need to design. Only need to design the back end of the compiler when you change the machine. So that is the reason IC need to be generated, to avoid the designing the compiler for each new machine from the scratch. Okay. So the intermediate code keep the analysis portion same for all the compilers. That is why there is no need to design the full compiler for every unique machine. Understood? So the intermediate code generator receive the input from its predecessor phase. That is, intermediate code generator receive the input from the semantic analyzer phase. Okay, it take input in the form of annotated syntax tree or the annotated parse tree, and does the generation of the intermediate code. Okay, so that is the need of the intermediate code. I hope all of you understood. Now next part is nothing but the different types of the intermediate code. Now there are the various ways of generation of the intermediate code. Understood? So that different types, in that we have the three important types. In that we have the first as a three address code as a tag, which already we have discussed in the SPOS also. Then second type of intermediate code is the syntax tree, and third important type of the intermediate code is the directed acyclic graph. Okay, so today we will discuss about the three address code, different ways of representation of three address code like quadruple, triple, indirect triple, and in the next lecture we'll discuss about these two types of the intermediate code. Okay, so just now let's discuss about the what exactly is the three address code and different its type of the representation. Okay, during the code generation and code optimization, that is the backend processing of program, the compiler will simply refer to the IC. So that is the reason intermediate code has to be generated. So here I have mentioned in this phase, that is the intermediate code generation phase, what input the intermediate code generated get. The intermediate code generated get the input from the previous phase of compiler, that is the semantic analyzer. So here I have mentioned in this phase as an input, the compiler will give modified parse tree, and as an output, after converting it to the intermediate code, will generate the three address. So intermediate code get the particular input from the previous phase, that is a semantic analyzer. So semantic analyzer generating here the modified parse tree as output, that will be given as the input to the intermediate code generator. Okay, and then intermediate code generation will be done. Now intermediate code, there are the different types of the intermediate code are there. Like there is a syntax tree, also the one of the kind of intermediate code. Then directed acyclic graph, DAG, directed acyclic graph is also the one of the type of the intermediate code. And third and most important, and which is generally utilized, is the third kind of intermediate code, that is a tag. So here tag stands for the three address code. So in this fourth phase of compiler, that is the intermediate code generation, we are focusing on the three address code generation as an intermediate code. So onwards, we will discuss about the what exactly is a three address code as a intermediate code. Okay, so three address code as a tag, it is one of the type of the intermediate code, and which is easy to generate and can be easily converted into the machine. Okay, now why this particular code is referred as a three address code? Okay, that we are going to discuss. Okay, so when the intermediate code generator generating the IC as a tag three address code, so three address code, from the name only you can understand why this is referred as a three address code, because it contains the at most three addresses. What at most three addresses, in the sense it contains the at most three operands. It contains what at most three operands and one operator. Okay, to represent the particular expression which is a part of source program, intermediate code generator generate the intermediate code as a three address code, and that three address code is what it will contain the at most three addresses, means at most three operands and one operator. That is the reason this particular IC is called as a three address code. Okay, so here I have mentioned tag make the use of three addresses, that is the three at most three operands and one operator, to represent the expression from source code, and the value computed at each instruction is stored in the temporary variable generated by the compiler. So during the three address code generation as IC, multiple number of temporary variables are being utilized by the compiler. Okay, and compiler decide the order of evaluation order of operation. So when the final code generation will be done by the compiler, in which order the final code or the machine code will be generated, that machine code will be generated according to the order of intermediate code. Okay, now what exactly this three address code with example we'll see. Now let's see some more details regarding the three address code. Now I hope all of you understood what exactly the three address is, why it is called as a three address code tag, because it contains the at most three addresses and the one operator. Understood? So when the three address code has to be generated, then there has to be some rules we have to follow. Two important rules are there. When the three address code for the particular expression has to be generated, first rule has to be followed is nothing but the rule of precedence of operator. Okay, what is this, that we will discuss in the example. So you just keep in mind rules. What rule has to be followed? The precedence order of the operator, priority of the operator. In the sense, what if there are the different kind of operator in your expression, like plus, minus, plus, division, then plus is having the less precedence as compared with the multiplication. So this order has to be keep in mind while generating the three address code for particular expression. So that is the first rule. Second rule, generate the tag for the highest precedence operator first. So in your expression plus and the multiplication is there, then you have to generate first the 3 address code for the expression which is being surrounded by which is being surrounded by the multiplication operator. Okay, so let's see that in the example. Now, as you know, the working of the previous phases of compiler will just recap and then we'll come to the 3 address code generation. So in the previous lecture, if you see, we are dealing with the expression, for example, x is equal to a plus b into the 50, where x, a, b are the operands, and these are being all being considered as a float, for example, and 50 is an integer here. Okay. Now in the first phase of compiler, we have seen the result of the first phase of compiler will be as follows. So first phase of compiler will do what? It will generate the different kind of tokens or recognition of tokens. So in this expression, x is identifier, this symbol is the assignment symbol, a is the identifier, plus is the addition symbol, b is the identifier, star is a multiplication symbol, and this 50 is also the integer number. Okay. So lexemes and the tokens will be generated like this. For example, x is a first identifier id comma 1, then assignment symbol, then a is the second id, then plus symbol, and then b is the third identifier, then star, and the 50 as a number or the integer. So this is the processing done by the lexical analyzer, and this particular processing output will be given to the next phase of compiler, that is nothing but our syntax analyzer. So in the syntax analyzer, we have seen that the second phase of compiler will check whether the expression, that is the x is equal to a plus b into 50, is syntactically correct or not by generating the syntax tree, and then it send that syntax tree as an input to the semantic analyzer. That is our third phase of compiler. Now, in the third phase of compiler, what will happen? Third phase of compiler will check whether that expression is semantically correct or not. As we know, x, a, b are the float, but 50 is the integer. We know the what role performed by the semantic analyzer is what? Main role performed is nothing but the checking the type compatibility. Okay, type checking and checking whether the sentence is meaningful or not. So here then semantic analyzer will convert, because 50 type of the 50 is what? Integer, that has to be converted into the float. So semantic analyzer will convert that into the 50.0 as a part of the type compatibility operation and send that to the next phase of compiler, that is the intermediate code generator. Okay, so this is the output generated by our third phase of compiler, that is the semantic analyzer. Now what happened in the fourth phase of compiler, that's the intermediate code generation, that we have to discuss. Okay, so here in the fourth phase, that is the intermediate code generation, for the this expression we will see how the intermediate code will be generated for this expression. Okay, so this is the intermediate code generated for this expression. Okay, this or this, both of these intermediate codes are correct, and these intermediate codes are being referred as a 3 address code, as a tag. As I said, 3 address code contain the at most 3 operands and the operator. Okay, so for this expression, the 3 address code will be generated like this. That is, as I said, different kinds of temporary variables are utilized while generating the 3 address code as an intermediate code. Okay, so here we take the T1 as a temporary variable, and now, as I said, we have to follow the some rules while generating the 3 address code as an intermediate code. So precedence will be given to the conversion first. Okay, so here that's why we write T1 equal to the into float 50. Okay, what? Into float 50 means convert the 50 into the 50.0. Okay, so first preference will be given to this part. Okay, first preference will be given to this part. Then another second temporary variable we utilize, T2 equal to ID3 into T1. Okay, now second preference will be given to this sub expression, b into 50. Now in the lexical analyzer we see b is given the identifier number 3. So that is the reason T1 T2 equal to ID3. ID3 is what? B. ID3 into T1. T1 is what? T1 is nothing but the 50.0. Okay. Then again, next the three address code will generated for this whole part. That is T3 equal to ID2 plus T2. So T3 equal to ID2 is what? ID2 is nothing but the A. Okay, T3 equal to ID2 plus T2. T2 is what? T2 is nothing but this part. Okay, this second part. Okay. And then lastly, ID1 equal to the T3 means whatever the result we have got here, that we are going to store in the ID1, and ID1 to the ID1 we are assigning the T3 because T3 contains the processing of all previous things. Okay. So this is the one way of generating the three address code. So in this different statement, you can see there is a no, there is a at most three operands we utilize. Here you can see in this expression two operands we utilize two, and here only the one. So while generating the three address code, you have to keep in mind you should not utilize more than three operands and one operator. Okay. So three address code can be generated like this, or it can be generated like this also. So this is also the correct. T1 equal to into float 50.0, T2 equal to B into T1. Instead of ID3, you can directly utilize the variable name also. T3 equal to A plus T2. For ID2, we have utilized A here. Okay, and X is equal to T3. So you may utilize the, you may give the name to the variable as a ID1, ID2, ID3 likewise, or you can directly also utilize the variable itself. Okay, so this is nothing but the three address code generation for this particular expression. Okay, so for this expression we have got this three address code, this or this, any one of these is you can utilize, both of these are correct. Okay, now while generating the three address code, okay, we must focus on the what is the original statement given, and accordingly three address code should have to be generated. Okay, so for this expression, okay, you have generated this particular three address code. Okay, then now we have seen what is the three address code, what is its need, why it is to be generated, and its types, and with example as a three address code we have seen. Now there are the different representation of three address code also for simplicity purpose, so that now main reason behind generating the three address code or the intermediate code is what? The machine code generation process will become simpler, will become efficient. Okay, so three address code can be implemented or represented as a record with the different addresses field, and there are the different representation of three address codes are there. So there are the three important representation of three address codes are there. You can see here representation of three address code as a quadruple, representation of three address code as a triple, or representation of three address code as an indirect triple. So same thing I have mentioned in another diagram also. So these are the different representation of three address code. With example, we will see what exactly is quadruple, triple, and the indirect triple. Okay. So in the representation of three address code, first type of representation is a quadruple. Now quad in the sense four fields. Okay. So the quadruple is having the four field to implement the three address code. Now what are the three? What are the different fields? The different field of quadruple contain the name of the operator, first operand, second operand, and the result. So operator is one field, second operand is a second field, then first operand is the second field, then second operand is the third field, and result as a fourth field. So there are the four fields in the representation of three address code. That is the reason this representation is called as a quadruple. Four fields are there. That is the reason it is referred as a quadruple. Okay. So same thing also I have mentioned here. In quadruple representation, each instruction is divided into the four fields. Four fields for what purpose? One field for the operator, two field for the operands, and one field for the result. Okay, the off field is used to represent the internal node for the operation, that is the operator. The argument one, argument two, or the operand one, operand two fields are represent the two operands, and result field contain the result, that is the fourth field. So why this representation is a quad as a quadruple? Because it contains the four field That four field you can also refer as the operator, source operand 1, source operand 2, and the destination as a result field. Okay. So as it is containing the four field, that is the reason this representation is called as a code wrapper. Okay. Now let's take example, one more example, and then we'll see how the quadruple, triple, and the indirect triple can be generated for the three address code. Okay. So here we have given the example, translate the following expression into the quadruple, triple, and the indirect triple. So this is the expression we have given, a plus b into c divided by e raised to f plus b into a. This is the expression. Okay, this expression first will be get converted into the three address code. Now how to convert to the three address code already I told you. While converting it into the three address code, we have to focus on the precedence of the operator. Now in this whole expression, this raised to is having the highest precedence. Okay, then multiplication, then division, and then plus. So here you utilize the first temporary variable t1. Okay, so here you can see t1 equal to e raised to f. This first reference, first precedence, highest precedence is to given to the raised to. Okay, that is the reason here first three address code statement is t1 equal to e raised to f. Okay, then next preference will given to this t2 equal to b into c, because this multiplication is having the second precedence. Okay, then next will be given to c divided e. So t3 temporary variable generated. Okay, and for that you can see now this expression we have related three address code for this expression we have done. Also three address code for this expression also generated. This is now result of this is in result of this e raised to f is in the t1. Okay, result of b into a in the t2. Okay, okay, so from this we can the third temporary variable will be generated as a t3. Okay, and t3 will write as a t2 divided by the t1. Okay, sorry, here we have made mistake. First preference will be given to the exponential. Okay, that result will be in the t1. Then now with the multiplication we have the two sub expression b into c and the b into e. Now when there are the two sub expression with the same operator, then which will be given the precedence. So in this case you have to follow the left to right associativity. Okay, so that is the reason first preference will given to this sub expression, and the result of that will be in the t2. So t2 into the b into c. Understood? Now this expression, now two expression we have evaluated and three address code generated for them, e raised to f and the b into c. E raised to f result in the t1. Okay, and b into c result in the t2. Now third temporary variable will be generated as a t3, and for that three address code will be written like this, t2 divided by t1. Okay, t2 divided by t1. Now here divided operator is there and multiplication. Now division and the multiplication operator are also having the same precedence. So here also you have to follow the left to right associativity. So first preference will be given to the this division here. So that is the reason we write here t2 divided by t1 means b into c divided by a raised to f, because t2 contain the b into c and t1 contain the e raised to f. Okay, then for the remaining expression we generate the fourth temporary variable, and then we focus on this remaining sub expression b into a. Okay, then again fifth temporary variable generated, and that will be for the three address code will be generated as a plus t3, means this a plus t3. Now t3 contain the result of this whole expression. Okay, t3, and that is the reason here we'll write t5 equal to a plus t3. Understood? And lastly, now if you generate the three address code up to this only, then it is also correct, and if you generate the last statement also, then also it is correct. Lastly, again temporary variable will generate t6 equal to t5 plus t4. T5 is a plus t3 and t4 is a remaining part. Understood? So T6 equal to the T5 plus T4. Understood? So in this way, three address code for this expression will be generated. Now, if you see these different statements of the three address code, in each statement you can see never we have utilized more than three operands and more than one operator. Only the here two operands, two operands, two operands, two operands, and the single operator utilized we have utilized in each of these three address code statement. Understood? Now for the generated three, now let's see how the quadruple can be generated for the generated three address code. Now for this expression, we have generated this three address code, and this is the quadruple for this three address code. Now, as I said, quadruple consists of the four main fields. That is the reason it is called as a quadruple. First field is the operator. Second is the first source operand, our argument one. Third is the argument two or the second source operand, and last one is the result. And one more column we have to write here, that is the location, okay, or the position, or you can also refer it as a index. Okay, so for the first expression t1 equal to e raised to f. Now in this, which is the operator, this raised to or the exponential is the operator. Okay, so you write it in the operator column. Then first operand here is the e, second operator is the f, e, f, and where you are storing its result in the t1. So here under the result you write the t1. For the second expression, multiplication is operator, b is the first operand, c is the second operand, and result in the t2. Then for the third statement, division is the operator, t2 is the first operand, t1 is the second operand, and result in the t3. Then for the next, t4 equal to b into a, multiplication is the operator, b is the first operand, c is, a is the second operand, result in the t4. Then for this expression, plus is the operator, a is the first operand, t3 is the second operand, result in the t5. Understood? And for the last one, plus is the first plus is the operator, t5 is the first operand, t4 is the second operand, and result in the t6. So this is nothing but the quadruple representation of the three address. Now, what are the disadvantage of these quadruples and the advantages? Okay, disadvantage is what? You can see the multiple number of temporary variable has to be generated. So temporary names must be entered into the symbol table as they are created. Okay, and if the more number of temporary variables will be generated, then the size of the symbol table may be get increased and the memory requirement also be more. Also advantage is also there. Advantage is what? It is simpler to understand and easy to rearrange the code. Okay, and disadvantage is what? Multiple number of temporary variables has to be generated. Okay, so this is the, now let's see. Now we already see how to generate the quadruple for generated triple. Now next we have to see how to generate the triple for the that particular quadruple. Okay. Now triple, why this representation is called as triple? Because it consists of the three fields. Okay. Here you can see in triple representation the use of temporary variable is avoided, and instead of temporary variable we use the reference to the positions. Okay, what we use? Reference to the position. So each instruction in the triple consists of the three fields. First is operator, second argument one, third argument. So result of the respective sub expressions are denoted by the positions of the expression. So we make the utilization of reference to the position in case of the triple representation. Okay. So first you need to understand why it is called as a triple, because it consists of the three fields. Okay. Operator and two operands or the two arguments. So this is the quadruple representation we have studied. Now for this quadruple, this is the triple representation generated. Now you can see this triple, in this triple representation, three fields are there: operator, argument one, and the argument two. Now let's see how the triple representation can be generated for the quadruple. Now for the first, here you can see we write the exponential operator as it is, then first operand argument one as E, second argument F. Then for the second, star as operator, B as a argument one, C as a argument two. Then for the next, division as operator. Now here, as I said, in case of the triple, temporary variables are avoided. Okay, that is one of the disadvantage of quadruple. Lots of temporary variable generated and it has to be shown in the symbol table. So here we avoid the utilization of temporary variable in the triple representation. So how we do that? See, now instead of writing the T2 in the triple, we will write the position as a reference number, because you can see T2. Now where is the T2? Here. Now T2 contains the result of B into C. Now instead of writing T2 there, we write the its position number. So that is the reason here we write the 1. Now here instead of T1, we write its position number, that is here is the T1, its position number is 0. And so that is the reason here we write the 0. Then for the next multiplication operator, B as argument 1 and A as a argument 2. Then for this plus A, and now here we will not write the temporary variable. Instead of that, we will write the position number of temporary variable T3, that is the 2. That is the reason here write the 2. And for the last one, here we write the plus. Then instead of T5, we write the position number of T5 as a 4. Okay, and instead of instead of T4, we write the position number of T4, that is the 3 here. So this is nothing but the triple representation for this particular given quadruple. Where in the triple, what were the disadvantage in the quadruple? That is a multiple number of temporary variable utilized. That we are avoiding here in the triple. So how we are avoiding that? Instead of writing the temporary variable, we are writing the its position as a reference number. Okay. Now our third type of representation is the indirect triple. Now in the indirect triple, we'll make more changes in the previous representation, that is a triple. So what we are going to do in the indirect triple, see. So in this representation, we make some changes in the triple representation. What changes we make? So here we make the use of one additional structure, that is the array. So here we make the utilization of array list as a pointer to the triple in the particular order. Okay. So here we make the utilization of array list, and that array list contains the pointer. So instead of position number that we are utilizing the triple, here we utilize the pointer to that position. Okay, to store the result. Now, which will enable the optimization and which will help the machine code generation more efficient way as compared to the triple and the quadruple. Okay, so what changes we are making in the indirect triple representation as compared with the triple? So in the triple, we have made the utilization of position as a reference. Now in the indirect triple, we make the utilization of array list, and that array list will contain the pointer to that position reference number. Okay, so let's see how we have done this. So this is the indirect triple. This is the indirect triple for this triple representation. Okay, for this triple representation, this indirect triple is being generated. Okay, now let's see. Now, as I said, in the indirect triple representation, we make the utilization of one array list, and that array list will contain the pointer to the position number. So this is the array list, and these are the pointers we have chosen here. Okay, so these pointers, any number can be generated as a pointer here. So here, just as an example, I have taken the pointer as a 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So these numbers can be anything. It can be 100, 101, 102, like this. Understood? And this to these position numbers, these are the position numbers. Now to this position number, we have refer this position number by these different pointers. Okay. So instead of referring to the position number, we are pointing to that position number by different pointers, and that is being maintained in this particular kind of array list. Okay, so this is nothing but the indirect triple representation. So what will happen because of that? So if the pointer is representing as to the 35, directly the position number 0 will be referred, and from that the particular processing result will be get referred while the machine code generation will be takes place. So here to just understand what differences are there in different representation of three address code. So first we have seen the quadruple. So in the quadruple, 4 fields are there. Okay. And we are making the use of temporary variable. In the triple, we are avoiding the utilization of temporary variable. We are making the use of position number instead of temporary variable. And in the indirect triple, we are making the use of pointer to point to that position number instead of utilizing the position number itself. So for that purpose, we are making the use of this array list. And in this array list, we are making the use of these uh, different pointers, okay, which are pointing to the different position numbers. So which will make easier while referring to the different result of these particular expressions. Okay, so instead of referring to the result of this expression by position numbers, here we are making the utilization of pointer to that position number. So because of utilization of pointers, accessing the this particular expression and result of this expression becomes easy because of the indirect triple. So out of these three, quadruple, triple, and the indirect triple is a considered as the most popular and most utilized representation for the three address code. So in this way, the intermediate code generation phase work and three address code representation is done in the fourth phase of compiler. Now, result of this fourth phase then given to the next phase of compiler, that is the back end of the compiler, where we'll do the code optimization and the code generation. Okay, so that further part we will study in the next lecture. That is nothing but our fifth phase and the sixth phase. So our fifth phase is nothing but the code optimization, and sixth phase, that is the last phase, is nothing but the code generation. Okay, so I hope all of you are understood the fourth phase of compiler, that's the intermediate code generation. So next time we will discuss the remaining phases of the compiler. Okay, thank you all of you.